You ready?
Let's do it.
Baseline.
Hey. What's this, P? What?
It's the Porch Podcast.
Come on.
Close my eyes. It's the Porch Podcast.
Come on.
It's the Porch Podcast.
What?
It's the Porch Podcast.
It's your boy Enfluential in the back. Episode 22, yeah, we on the map.
Right.
The Porch Podcast, and we rocking with the team. I'm sitting here sipping on not lean.
No.
Cognac. I always talk about some
Right.
BS that the rappers sip on, but that ain't me because I was born in the early 80s and we drink liquor and we do different things like pull a zippers out.
Yeah.
Let me chill. You know why? Because it's the Porch Podcast. Come on. It's the Porch Podcast. Let's go. Well, it's the Porch Podcast and we here, huh? It's the Porch Podcast. It's the Porch. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome to the Porch Podcast. Welcome to the Porch Podcast. It's your boy DJ E, Mr. Influential, and I am rocking with my brother.
Be original.
That's your name?
That's my name, brother. That's my name.
And this is the Porch Podcast.
Yes, sir. Episode Dos.
Yeah. Deuce, that's how they say it?
22, baby.
Yeah, but that ain't how they say it, though.
It is not.
It's called 22.
Go with that.
Right?
Go with that.
All my Spanish people, tell me right now. 22? Is it 20? 20?
Oh, yeah.
22.
Oh, yeah.
Episode 22, people. Episode 22 of the Porch Podcast. It's your boy DJ E. Like I said, I'm here with P Original. And this episode is known as Simple-ish.
Simple-ish.
Simple-ish. You know what I mean?
Yes,
they
sir.
had blackish,
Right.
grownish,
Right.
mixedish,
Right.
simple-ish.
And now we're going to talk about the simplest.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the simple-ish.
Yeah, so simplest, basically is taking something that is not complicated
Right.
and complicating it.
Right. A lot of people turn around and make stuff complicated, man.
For absolutely, I guess, I don't know, maybe to keep style points or something, because it's not that difficult. It's not that difficult.
Well, you always got some people out there, I think, that just want to make things a little bit more complicated because they want to sound deep.
Right. Oh,
You know what I mean?
right.
People often joke with T.I. about him, using a lot of big words and doing things of that nature. I understand what the man really be doing.
Right.
His vocabulary is, if you want to call it quote unquote deep, but it ain't necessary.
You're not going to fix your mic and then I don't fix mine. Man.
It ain't necessarily deep. It's just it's extended. That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
So he has an extended vocabulary. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, no, I mean, that big words don't complicate things.
Right.
Small minds do. You know what I mean?
Say it one more time.
Yeah, big words don't complicate things. Small minds do, man. You know?
And some people right now, even though when you said that, because
Right.
their mind is small,
Right.
sound like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Tweety birds. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of that stuff is because of the fact that, like you said, man, people think that, well, first off, it's going to lead us down a foxhole, but I'm prepared to go down it, and I know you are too.
You always go down foxholes.
It's funny. We're talking about simple-ish, right?
Right.
Is it simple to say that you always want better for yourself? Like,
Is that simple? What you mean? Is it
is it simple to say? Like, is it okay?
is it safe to say that most
It's
people,
definitely safe to say,
okay.
but is it complicated for you to say that? Like, if somebody asked you, did you, did you want it difficult coming up or simple?
Oh, I want the simple.
Right. Now, simple don't necessarily mean easy. It just means not complicated.
Right.
Right? Like, don't nobody have no problem with dealing with, things that aren't too, I don't know, extreme or
Yeah.
too difficult to figure out.
Yeah.
It leads me down this whole, and I actually had a conversation with a close relative, and the conversation is about forgetting where you came from, right?
Absolutely.
And quite simply put, the basis of the conversation is we as people complicate things, and then even when we get a little corrective criticism, as opposed to actually like taking it, with a grain of salt and understanding it's possibly coming from a good place,
Right.
because it's so simple, it's profound. We turn around and some people resist it because of the fact that
It's so simple.
It's too simple to be that easy. You know what I mean? It's just too simple.
But what it just doesn't point out is it's just like what me and you were just talking about, or what you just literally stated.
Mm-hmm.
You said just because something is simple doesn't mean it's easy. It just means it's not complicated.
Yeah.
And where I can actually agree with that, in my regular 9 to 5,
Mm-hmm.
my job is simple.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean it's easy.
Right. I got you.
It's simple.
Yeah.
The understanding of it.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to do what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Even when you go up and start dealing with higher levels of things, it's just it's very, very. You got to critique it. You got to be very, very careful to make sure you don't. One thing off can change everything.
Right.
So that's what makes it. That's what can make it difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. It's not complicated. You know what I mean? It's not hard to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just,
like when you was talking about, like me and you was breaking down the whole, when we used the example about the young brother or the young sister, dealing with their finances and trying to understand how to get to a goal, right?
Right.
They say, I want to be, before you get to, being a millionaire, you got to see what hundreds of thousands looks like. And before that,
hundred thousands.
right. Yeah. Now, it's simple, right? 100 pennies equals $1.
Right.
It's not complicated, but we complicate it when we try to take it outside of what it's actually created to be.
Absolutely.
Right? So when you was breaking down the concept and I said to you about taking a person from like point A, to the next level, to the next level, to the next level, kind of like walking them up the ladder.
Right.
To reach that, like you were saying, on an average, $2,000 in terms of a
that's the
rainy day
number
fund.
that's the number that just a lot of financial advisors use.
Right.
Yeah. So
like,
it doesn't have to be that, but that's just the number they tend to say.
Right. So when I said to you, some of the thing that came along with that is understanding that people have to adopt the understanding that it's not as difficult as it appears.
Right.
Right. Because it's really simple.
Right.
It requires you to just stop trying to make it complicated.
Right.
Right. Discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Discipline is another term that comes along with why things that seem simple become complicated to some people. Right.
Right.
Like that concept of dealing with money, and when you turned around and you broke it down into percentages, and you took that percentage and you went from $1,000 and how 10% of 1,000 was $100, and you did it from 1,500, it was $150, and then you turned around and said, okay, I'm gonna break it down even smaller than that. Let's go with a smaller number and say you make $1,000 a week, and you're doing the, like you said, the 10% situation, and then you broke down the whole, was it 80-20, or did we talk about how did you break it 80-10-10?
What it used to be for people, especially when they, if they church and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I've heard of 10-10-80.
10-10-80. That's
right?
what the numbers you were saying.
But
right?
in all actuality, we're going to go with the 10%. If you make $1,000 every 2 weeks,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's $100 every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
However, it's $50 a week.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
And if you do a simple work week,
mm-hmm.
it's $5 a day.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Well, if you're doing 5 days is $10, right? $10 a day.
$10 a day. I mean, $10.
I know what you meant,
right.
though, but
you
see how you doing that?
Yeah.
When you simplify things and you tell a person like you just broke that down, for anybody who was paying attention to that,
right?
For them to take it and make it any bigger or more,
right.
extreme than that, they're just making a simple situation complicated for no reason.
And at that low note, at that note, in 10 months, you would have that $2,000 cushion.
See what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Right.
But when you start something, momentum builds.
Mm-hmm.
Porch Podcast.
No doubt.
This is
No
week
doubt.
22.
No doubt.
We've done this for 22 weeks straight.
No doubt. It's a habit now.
You know what I mean? Like I said, it's a habit. Like we said last episode.
That's right.
21 days, but 21 of anything,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, creates habits.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, we really just getting started.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
We really just getting started. You
Word.
know? So
Absolutely.
that's just really how it is. It's the same thing with a diet. It's the same thing with exercise. Same thing in everything. Patience. It's so many different things that we create and make hard.
Mm-hmm.
That truthfully, it's simple. Simple shit.
Like crack.
I'm gonna give you some wisdom on it. You're right. If you grew up in the 90s, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If you grew up in the 90s like we did,
Mm-hmm.
we could have easily sold crack if we wanted to. That's the simple side of it.
Hey, man, I'm leaving. Hey.
That's the simple side of it.
Right.
Hard, complicated side of it
Mm-hmm.
is the moment somebody's smoking, they can't get away from it.
Right. Right.
You know it's crazy? You always got people, though, because it's mind over matter. We do have dominion over everything that got out of it. But, crack stopped being a problem once they pulled it out.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I sit back, I think about a lot of that stuff. Like, let me tell you, right? Now this may be kind of off subject with it, but like we talk about all the time.
I'm going to tell you. No, I'm sorry. I mean to cut you.
No, go ahead.
The one thing
What?
that takes a lot of work that wasn't that simple, being a magician.
I can only imagine. I can only imagine because, it's not a simple career. There's a lot of unique things that you have to specialize in. Like you got knowledge. What do you do with them rabbits and shit when you ain't using them? All of that kind of stuff takes work.
Oh, no, but that's not. See, I learned. See, you can do anything if you do it the right way. I learned what to do with the rabbits.
Uh-huh.
Let them be free. let them be free. You let them be free.
Yeah.
They can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah. Well, now, you know what's funny, man? Talking about simpler things, man, in life, man, simple is. We took a little ride today.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we went back to some roots.
Uh-huh.
And it was, it was good to see a lot of the brothers, man, and connect on a level that we always did.
Shout out to the stoop.
Shout out to the stoop, and we had a great time. And,
shout out to Decal.
Oh, absolutely. You know what I mean? Black, Decal, everybody, man.
Tone Burke, Doc.
Yeah, we popped out. We popped out today and came through, and it was simple, but it was an enjoyable time. And I think that's kind of where we going with the simple-ish concept is that things in life are enjoyable, man, if you just allow them to be what they are. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
We talk about it all the time. Like, I'm a person like this with trips versus vacations. I don't know if I ever mentioned this to you before.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like trips are designed with a purpose, right?
Right.
Like if I'm going somewhere and I have a business thing to take care of.
I take a lot of trips.
Agenda or objective that I need to accomplish while I'm there. To me, that's a trip.
Yeah.
Right? To me, I feel like vacations are the opportunity to vacate the things that you normally do and do something different.
Right.
Hence the word vacation.
Yeah.
And keeping it simple, that's how I separate the two.
Right. I take a lot of trips.
Right.
And then I try to take a vacation every year as well.
Right, because they all have their purpose.
Right.
And sometimes in life, once again, even from that perspective, we try to incorporate everything as the same things, but they're not.
Perfect example. Last year during COVID, everything. I took small trips.
Right.
Because I had to take care of business.
Correct.
but I didn't take a vacation.
Right. And it's a difference.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This year after being vaccinated and everything, I took a vacation.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I still took business trips.
Right.
Right.
But there's a difference.
That's why it's never called a business vacation. It's called a business trip.
Bruh.
You know what I mean?
I didn't make that up. You didn't make that up. Even when you travel sometimes, you flying what? Business class, right?
Yeah, but let me ask you this. This is something to do with simple stuff. Do you ever think of like the way we talk, certain lingo, certain words? Because we give power to everything. Even slogans like business trips and everything. Mm-hmm. We never know who's the first person to say it, right? Mm-hmm. But how do you think that room is? I know it's about to sound like I'm being silly, but do you think drugs is involved in that room? Like for people, sometimes in their mind, be like, I got it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We call it a business trip.
Yeah,
you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Narcotics is involved in a lot of shit, man. You know what I mean?
Remember that time we was on a business trip, right?
Right.
And we ended up we was at a convention.
Okay.
And then it was like, come on, let's go, come back to the hotel room, everybody chilling, you know what I mean? We gonna have some food, some drinks. Mm-hmm. And then we got in there. Mm-hmm. And even though people, we really don't know, we be playing. We gave each other this look like this. I was like, and then you looked at me like, then I did it good.
Yeah.
And then you did in all actuality, as soon as we hit the hallway, he was like, don't it seem like that ashtray was just gonna come in with the cocaine?
Yo, yeah, listen.
You remember what I'm talking about?
Bruh, I will never, I done been in some
We was like, we gotta go, man.
Obviously, the more you grow in life and the more doors that open up and the more places that you go.
Start seeing all types of crazy shit.
And the shit seems simple to them. I've been around, with some fine china.
As came through.
And it's like,
Did we hit him with a SpongeBob?
Was someone baking?
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of powder.
We hit him with a SpongeBob, and next thing you know, I'm just going to head out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to head out.
Yeah, you look at your phone, it ain't ring. It's, okay.
That's my cue.
Right. Let me go. Because it's right here. I've been waiting on this.
Yeah.
Listen, that's simple life. That's the simple things in life, right?
Yeah.
Now, that's not complicated.
No.
You just need to remove yourself from that equation.
Right.
Unless that's something that you into.
And we're
clearly not into that. So I'll never pass judgment, but I'll excuse myself.
Yeah.
No.
Don't let me listen. Don't let me
One
stop
of these
you.
here, the plate coming. You see the plate coming and shit. Okay.
Next thing plate come past me. I can see me now.
Yeah. Because you don't want to fuck the party up and do one of these.
See, my problem, I'll be on some. The fuck was that?
Yeah.
You can't hear me. Yeah, P, yeah.
Yeah, because shit gets crazy.
Let's go.
You heard my man Jamie Foxx said. He said, I don't mess with the shit.
Yeah.
I just like the way it smells.
yeah.
I'll never forget that shit, man. But no. You know what? I say all of that because when I look at a lot of different things that I've tried to change in myself, one of the first things I've come to grips with is
what?
It really wasn't that complicated.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of times I resist against the thing that I know was going to be the correction to the situation. I just made it complicated all that time.
I'm going to say this, people, and this is the E-Advice segment of the show. Or not even advice, just the truth point, I feel like. Mm-hmm. We're not going to change anything in life, in our life, until we want to.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Oh, yeah. I talked about it earlier.
It's nothing more to it. It's as much as, okay, we might lose weight, then we gain it back. Mm-hmm. We lose weight, then we gain it back.
Right.
It's not going to stay off until we decide to say, I just don't want this on me no more.
Exactly.
And even when we say, and I'm not saying that people don't struggle with stuff. Hear me clear. I'm not saying that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like when you were young
Right.
and you went out and you partied every weekend.
Right.
And people might say, you got to stop partying every weekend.
Right.
And you're really not harming nothing.
Right.
But the reason why they might have made that statement is because you were like, man, I'm always broke.
Right.
But you always going to the club, you popping bottles, you doing all
Right.
this. And I'm not telling you, you're really not broke. You're living your life the way you want to.
Exactly.
But if you want more money in the bank and still do these things, you had one or two options.
What's that?
Spend less somewhere else,
Right.
right? Or make more money.
Right.
But if it got to the point where you was just like when I stopped going out all the time, it wasn't because I wanted more money or I just was like, I just don't feel like going out.
Yeah.
I want to go in the other room,
Yeah.
get me my little cup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey,
Cut the game on.
Yeah. It was
Have my
simpler.
little part. And, you know, being DJ, like I still DJ at spots. Listen, let me make this clear. That don't mean that you can't book me for shit, because I'm gonna come to your club and rock.
Yeah.
That's a check.
You better believe it.
That's something totally different. Your event, your club, you know, life is good. However, what I'm saying is, even when I come and get in my groove, I cut my little party lights on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have my little sip. You know. And sometimes I'm like, damn, I ain't gonna hear this in the club. I be in here talking about a chair is still a chair, singing Luther and everything, even when no one is sitting there. I don't even know if that's the words. However,
That's what drugs do.
yeah,
It probably sound like that to you, but it's, Go ahead. I'm sorry. It's, book him, y'all.
yeah, but
You
what
might
I'm
be able
saying
to
is-
play. You might be able to pay him and blow.
What I said, damn.
Hey, catch out the bag.
We see what you're into.
Yeah, simpler things in life.
Simpler things in life. But while we're talking about that, and that's just about the simple changes in life. You ever notice how, because I like to say that we have a great sense of humor. We like to laugh. We like to laugh and stuff.
I
right?
believe so.
Yeah, we like to laugh at a lot of stuff. You ever notice how the simplest shit sometimes be the funniest shit?
More often than not.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, for example, the other night, I was watching That's My Boy,
Okay.
right? With Adam Sandler.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the funniest part of the movie? Man?
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
When he was in the strip club.
Yeah.
And my man pointed and just hit him with the straight right and knocked my man smooth the fuck out for nothing. He was like, and he just, I don't know why a simple bitch just knocked out.
Yeah.
Shit is that funny. Or even episode 17 of the Porch podcast.
Yeah.
When I said, Earth Angel in your face.
I thought about that, man. Since then we've been calling this shit Earth Angel. Like, it's kind of like, like how do we? I mean, it works, but it's just weird. Now, I was gonna say, man, kind of. I wanted to reiterate something I was saying earlier in terms of like, how can I say, corrective criticism, right?
Right.
You could tell a person, you turn around and you say, listen, sometimes the reason why things have not developed is because you're complicated.
Right.
Right? And you could turn around and you could tell a person that if you are your brand and you are representing yourself and you're never totally aware, because, bruh, you don't know. And I tell people all the time, entrepreneurs out there, anybody out there creating their own businesses and things of that nature, always remember that you are the representation of your brand.
Absolutely.
Right? And you never know who's paying attention to any of the things that you're doing. Right? What you stand for, how you present yourself. In this world, and I'm speaking directly right now
in this world of fly girls,
our people from our communities and stuff like that, right? There's enough against you. There's enough against you already, right?
E&J and Tangerang until like Earl.
You have to put yourself in a position to already beat the odds.
Oh, yeah.
Right? To already beat
and
the
not
odds.
just put it on race, but especially being black.
Right. But right now we're going to focus on Our people.
Right.
Okay. Now, I had a conversation, 2 family members, and I asked them a question about entrepreneurship.
Right.
And I asked them, when did they ever hear the term entrepreneur? When was the first time
Right.
that they can recall hearing that term? And they said to me, probably around college. And I said, wow. It's mind-blowing. It's provocative. It's profound that a term like entrepreneur isn't even something that you heard until later on, right?
Right.
Now, when you look at it from a simple perspective, when you're trying to develop your own brand,
Right.
the simplest thing that you can do, and I know a lot of people will kind of tweak this in a different way, is be yourself.
Right.
But what you have to understand in the world of business,
Yeah.
you have to understand when yourself needs to be a different way.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to know that. You got to know the difference between when a person is telling you, be mindful, because you don't know who may or may not be your next potential client, investor, partner, or person that has an interest in what you bring to the table.
Right.
If you are being corrected in that situation, and I'm speaking to anybody who is in that mindset and anybody who's out there doing it, learn that corrective criticism comes in many forms. And it is often in the most simplest form that you can take that and change and be able to present yourself in a way that is amazing.
Well, just everything that you're saying, that's why I said what I said. It's even harder when you black, but I'm not just putting it on race.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
I want everybody to know, far from racist. But when I say that, I talk about culture sometimes. Okay? Now, I could be wrong, but I'm just asking you this. The 2 people that you asked that, they related to us, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they're black. We know that they're
Correct.
that they're African Americans.
Right.
And like we ended the show last week. When we ended the show last week, I
Right.
was talking about certain. Remember, I made the statement of Italian food, Italy, Chinese
Right.
food,
Right.
soul food. You think of black people, but it's not a country called soul.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a culture thing because everything that we make race is not race. Some things are just culture.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So
Good
when
point.
I was explaining, and then I made the statement about how, when my man was explaining at a job that they were saying, when they pull up, no loud rap music.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And he said y'all should correct this. It should just be no loud music.
Right.
Because when you say rap music, when we think of rap, the culture that we think of
Yeah.
is African American.
Exactly.
So this is the same thing. I'm making this clear because I'm trying to make everybody understand it. I'm not just talking about race. You keep hearing me use the word culture for a person to understand. It's not shocking that we didn't hear the word entrepreneur until we were grown.
Okay.
My
It was a
question,
little shocking to me, but I see what you're saying.
yeah, no. I'm not.
I didn't notice it until later.
All right, let me say this clear.
Right.
Let me say this clear.
Right.
It's shocking that we didn't hear the word,
Right.
but it doesn't surprise me because it's a lot of things that's held back from the culture and the areas that we come from.
Mm-hmm.
See, an urban area, we could say is an urban cultural area.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not just, because again, we already know, we talk about PD all the time.
Mm-hmm.
PD wasn't black.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
And he grew up around our way.
Word is
So
bond.
it's not about race. It's about culture. And culture a lot of times is based on where you are.
Right.
If Chinese food, China.
Yeah.
Italian food, Italy. Soul food.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So that's my
No, you're right.
example of what I'm going with it. Right? So us not hearing about entrepreneur from the culture a lot of times where we come from. And you hear it now because we have more of them, even though we had them then.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you were around a business person, whether it be male or female, to understand that, why would a person teach you that? See, a lot of times where we come from, we explain this. Me and you had this conversation the other day. We were talking about the stock market. And I explained to you that they tell us, it's like a rapper Chameleon there has said, you always hear the word risk when it comes to the stock market.
Right.
Right? But other things in life, they don't tell us it's a risk. Like he said, I can walk in a club with a $50,000 chain on and nobody's telling me I'm taking a risk.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? It's other things that he said. I could diss a rapper on the record. However, right?
Yeah.
But where I'm going with it is our culture was always taught for hand over fist money. I do something, I want to get paid today.
Right.
They don't want to invest time.
Right.
And make something later.
Right.
Most entrepreneurs do a lot of things for free until they get paid.
Absolutely.
They're interns. And we had them in our face.
Yeah.
Diddy, Jay-Z.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we had them there, but it's funny, like you said, a lot of people didn't hear these terms. And I think they just didn't, they wanted our culture, people in our areas, to continue to get into the rat race. Rat race, working 9 to 5. Have to work 2 jobs to get the things that some people that's working a 4-hour work week receive.
Yeah, see, that stuff would sound crazy. Like E, if you think about it, right? Like, you have an extensive history and knowledge now about, finances. E, if you would have started talking like this shit, let's just say you was 12, 13.
Right.
Like, all the fellas would have been looking at you, and that's not like dumbing them down to nothing, you know what I mean?
Right.
They'd have looked at you like, E, what is you talking about?
Well, the thing is, the reason why they'll look at me like that, you got to realize something, too. Back then, and like you said, the way I'm talking now, if I was talking like this at 12 and 13, I look crazy.
Yeah.
However, the only reason why I look crazy is because in our culture, we were taught tangible assets.
Right.
It's things we could touch.
Yeah.
So the dude up the street that's getting money.
Yeah.
And he coming through in the Benz. Yeah. That's why you had so many people repeating that. Yeah. Because they said, if such and such could do it, I could do it.
Right. But see, like, even those terms, like, remember I was telling you the other day, and you said, you know what I mean? I know, P, like, you don't deal with the things on the surface level. Yeah. It's a situation where because you can't grow, even if you want to plant a seed, where do you got to bury it?
In the dirt. Right.
And the dirt is below what?
Surface level.
Okay.
Right.
So when I say all of these things, the reason why I say it that way is because you can't plant a seed on the top of the ground.
No. However,
you got to dig in the surface. You got to go below the surface level.
However, that seed don't grow unless you feed it. And the knowledge is what you use to feed it. But most people don't understand it until the crop grows.
Right. But okay, I'll give you an example. You drop a seed on the top of the surface. Bird comes down, eats the seed. Boom.
Right.
Whether you was going to pour the greatest mineral water or anything.
That's what I'm saying. We agree upon that.
Right.
You have to plant it below the surface.
Because soil, which is below the surface, is saturated with minerals and things that help things grow.
Right.
You don't plant grass seed, but if you don't go out there and do nothing to your grass, if it rains, your grass gonna grow.
Because the minerals in the dirt.
Right.
That's why they talk about a vegan diet being so great.
So in terms of simplicity, what I tell people all the time is they choose to look away from the simplest way to look at life.
Right.
They choose to. Now,
because they only believe what they see.
Right. And that's because they won't move the curtain. They won't dig below. They won't do those other things. That's why.
However, the reason why you do that and I do that.
Right.
It's because we were around people who did that.
Right, but also if you give me 10 shots, in the dark, eventually, if I keep shooting at nothing in the dark and I never hit anything, what's the first thing I'm gonna say? Turn on the light.
Right.
That's all I be doing. Yeah. Stop shooting in the dark.
No, I get that.
Turn on the light. And that's the thing. When you trying to tell people, we talking about simple-ish, the reason why they don't get it is because we're at a point where you have different people. You have people who either don't know, don't care, or do know.
You just said it.
Don't know, don't care.
You just said it. Both of them.
Or have gotten to a point where they no longer are going to try to invest into that. I tell people all the time, the reason why you didn't hear about the term entrepreneurship, and I agree with you based on the situation of demographic as well as cultural.
Yeah, mainly cultural. That's
is because of the fact, well, no, it varies, because I'll turn around and tell you either certain places where they never took out programs like all of the things that used to be in the vocational programs and stuff. There were areas where those never came out of schools.
Right.
And then there's other demographic areas where it did. Mm-hmm. So some of it is based on that.
Right.
Now, culturally, who we live around and stuff like that, that's different. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can live in an area that's predominantly African American, yet it may be in an area that is wealthy or well-to-do.
That's why I said it's not race.
Right.
Yeah.
So that demographic, based on that, even if the culture is like that, may be afforded different opportunities merely on that. Now, the reason why it wasn't continued, in my opinion, with this situation, is because systematically designed, those areas were created to groom employees.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, like we talked about.
To put them in a rat race.
Right. To create employees. Now, employees are created to work for corporations and major institutions, so I can pay you what I think you deserve versus what you what you're actually worth.
Right.
The reason why the term entrepreneurship, and I'll give you an example. When we was kids, kindergartners, preschool, and stuff like that, one of the first entrepreneurs that you ever saw was a farmer.
Yeah.
Was a farmer. And you saw it and you looked at him and he said he got an old hat and he got on overalls and he got a straw, piece of weed or something like that. I don't want to do that. They get dirty, they do a lot of this, that, and the third, but guess what? They own their own lands.
Right.
They harvest and they did what they did and they taught. And you looked at a kid, and if a kid told you that he was the son of a farmer or daughter of a farmer, you like, son or daughter of a farmer.
But now we have shows like Queen Sugar.
Right.
To show you that business. Right.
But it took it. Well, that's what I said. So when I asked that question, and both of these two people said, I was in college and not my freshman year either. I might have been I might have been working on my master's degree when I actually heard. And that's crazy. But that's systematically designed to be that way. I remember the
first time I heard it. I was in a barbershop. And the barber was an entrepreneur.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So he still is. Well, yeah, he is. So he made the statement. Also a connoisseur, which is the same, all that stuff comes together. Now, basically explaining everything we saying, why I spoke about culture, you know what I mean? Because you're right, I do compare culture with demographics. And culture is in everything. So you could say the hip-hop culture, that's a cultural type of music.
Yeah.
All right? But we know that's not based upon race. You could say in the DJ culture. You understand what I'm saying? You could say in the podcast culture.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I was saying culture and everything's not based upon race, because we can't always say we don't know something because we're black. Right. They didn't teach us because we're black.
Right.
It's where we're from.
Right.
Okay? Because where we come from.
Right.
The city that we were born and raised in.
Right.
I didn't make this up. This is not my opinion. This is what certain polls show. Mm-hmm. It's ranked the worst capital in America. Mm-hmm. Not about crime, just overall. Mm-hmm. They say it's expensive. You don't make a lot. Mm-hmm. It's just known for its historic value. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So anybody that lives in that city has that culture in a sense.
I got you.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm with
so
you.
For example,
I'm with you.
We look at New Orleans. Mm-hmm. New Orleans is known to be one of the poorest and hardest cities. But when you go to the French Quarter, that part of that culture, Mardi Gras. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So when I'm speaking upon this, I'm speaking of where we come from, right? Mm-hmm. So it's shocking to a certain extent that we didn't hear those words because Trenton makes the world takes, right?
Right.
It's a lot of business owners we watch come up. Mm-hmm. But it's not surprising that it also wasn't pushed in our face. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
For us to know this.
Right.
But then you might go to a city like Atlanta, and that culture is look at certain shows. Atlanta Housewives.
Oh yeah.
Hip hop, loving hip hop Atlanta.
Yeah.
A lot of them are entrepreneurs.
Okay. And to build on that,
Right.
why now?
Because of the simple fact, it's no longer a secret.
When was it a secret? That's the thing.
Right.
It wasn't to those that it was designed to be known to. It wasn't a secret.
Right.
It was just a taboo conversation that you didn't have. Where we grew up at, you had a corner store.
Yeah.
We had the pizza shop.
Right.
We had a beauty salon. We had with the Mason brothers, you had the mechanics. Now, 2 of those businesses were owned and ran by African-American people, right?
Yeah.
You had Mr. Nix. You had the hair salon.
Yeah.
And you also had the Mason brothers. The corner store was not ran by African-American people, wasn't owned by. Right? We also didn't own a pizza shop. That was ran by Frank. Now, we did, like I say, to reiterate it, have a hair salon, and we had the mechanic place. We had examples,
Right.
whether they talked about them or not.
We had them.
But the examples that a lot of people chose to look at wasn't that because it wasn't viewed to be as desirable.
Right. Desirable, or we were taught that having your own business can be very risky.
Well, but see, okay, and
Because we had these examples, not even in our neighborhood.
right, but we
Our own uncle.
right,
2 of them.
right. We talk, yeah, but what I'm saying is that when we went to when we went to the corner store, we didn't think about the 25-cent bag of potato chips we was buying because it was a quarter.
Right.
We're not thinking like that. We're
Right.
thinking it's 25-cent
I
bag
get
of
what you're
potato
saying.
chips.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Now the mechanic who's working on a vehicle, who you know is getting more than 25 cents to fix that car, we'll walk right past that shit like it was nothing.
Right. Because
You
we
know,
didn't have a car.
Because not only because we didn't have a car,
Like
but
us, yeah, I'm saying.
But no, but because of the fact that we didn't have the tip of the iceberg. We didn't have the fact of, how can I say, like, no one from there stopped you and said, look at my business.
Right.
Right? Which is fine. But we never, ever took the time to look at that and say, damn, I could own my own mechanic place.
I'm not going to say that I didn't.
Maybe you did.
Yeah, because, again, like you said earlier in the show, when you made the statement, the way I know about finances, and I was talking about that when I was 12 and 13
Yeah.
and all that type of stuff. Maybe not about money, but, bro, I talked about, because I did say, I had a report in the 5th grade that I was going to be a computer programmer and have my own business fixing computers.
Yeah.
But it just didn't happen like that. Then it went from no bullshit. This is why I believe in the law of attraction. I said I'm going to work for the city and have my own business at the same time. I said this about 12, 13 years old.
So when did you say you were going to be a magician?
During COVID.
Because you wanted to be the first black magician?
I don't think I would have been the first black magician.
Okay.
It started off
Black magic.
seeing how
Black magic.
how much I can make, my bills disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah. This or that.
He thought Magic Johnson was a magician.
Give me this or that. Give me this or that. Give me something for this or that. Give me one. You got one for me?
Okay. Boom. This or that. We talking about vacations and stuff like that. Cruise or an all-inclusive?
All inclusive.
Okay.
That's a no-brainer for me.
Okay. Trying to stay away from food on this and that this week. I keep getting to the food episodes. Would you rather catch a bus from here to Florida or a train from here to Florida?
They both super long, man. They both long. But I probably do the train. I did a train from here to Atlanta. Trenton to Atlanta before.
Oh, yeah?
That bitch was 19 hours. That was some bull. I caught a train from Oklahoma to Philly one time. Shit took 2 days.
Yeah?
Messing with black.
Wow. Okay, you got one for me?
This or that. Henny or Remy?
Damn. I'ma still say Hennessy.
Yeah.
I'ma still say, even though I like Remy Martin,
Yeah.
I'ma say Hennessy.
Yeah.
Final answer.
Alcoholics usually have those type of issues.
Yeah, where it was difficult to come up with. Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's not
when you was eating swine, right? When you was eating swine on your pizza, pepperoni or sausage? Pause. But which one?
Sausage.
Yeah, because you like that meat.
From he said pause and then said I like the meat. Sorry, man. As a DJ.
Hey, look at the R effect. See it?
The equipment that you use now with the turntables or the back in the day vinyl, man?
Even split. Nah. Nowadays. I'm gonna stop bullshit. Stop bullshit. I'm gonna tell you why.
Wow.
The reason why I say even split, because for you to DJ with vinyl, you had to really have the skill. And I'm not saying you don't have to have skill now. Let me make this clear. For the whole DJ culture, make this clear. Technology was created to fix issues, just like anything else. But it doesn't always make things better. So we went from from regular needle turntables to CD turntables. Mm-hmm. When we went to CD turntables, that was for us to get, everybody thought, it was just so you don't have to carry as many records. Mm-hmm. Still had to have CDs. They were just smaller records. Mm-hmm. But you can get more in a CD book. You could come out with 10 books and be straight. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If you had them filled, you got everything. However, it gave us a more digital, clearer sound as well.
Right. Okay.
But some people, you got some people that likes to be nostalgic. I like to hear that. The pop on the record type shit. Just like you got some people that don't want to use a Kindle or listen to Audible. I like to hear the pages turn. Man, read that shit to me. I can read, but just read it to me. You know what I mean? So I can keep moving around. Okay. You know what I mean? And listening at the same time. But nowadays, why I like the controllers and everything better, it's easier to move. So now, like, if I go to DJ somewhere, just throw my book bag on. And as long as I got the driver to the controller, I can just jump in.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sunrises or sunsets?
Sets.
Okay.
I like when it gets. I don't know if it has something to do with me being born in October and then getting used to things as a baby. Mm-hmm. Because back when we was young, when I was born, maybe like second week that I was here, went to daylight savings time. So it was getting dark early.
How you know that?
Because daylight saving time was always in October. My birthday is 7th. The shit just started getting pushed back a few years ago, man. Come on now. It's not that hard.
Now he was 2 weeks old.
But do you know why they even created daylight savings time? No. For the farmers. Your first entrepreneurs that we were talking about, that we see. Yeah.
So, getting back to that.
Right.
Simpler things in life like we were talking about.
No, we were saying we was getting this and we got to that. Now I just want to say the simple thing. We was talking about something earlier. And we was talking about the humor and we touched on it a little bit because people like to laugh. I just want to say this. Simple shit like you said earlier. You just pull up.
I know some.
And you hear.
Is he right around this time
Now you
when
hear.
he wants some dumb shit?
No, you would hear like you just hear somebody argue. You just said, "Oh, bitch, I can show you better than I can tell you." How they beat.
Yeah.
They.
Well, you don't hear nothing at first. Like you don't hear whatever the argument was consistent upon.
Yeah.
But the first inkling of it that you get is, "Oh, bitch, I can tell you. I can show you better than I can tell you." You know, and it automatically grabs your attention.
And you be like, what?
Yeah, you be like, damn, what's going on over there?
Give me my sneakers, man.
Yeah.
And then what you say?
Give me my sneakers.
Yeah, don't touch. Don't touch.
And don't put your hands on me.
I'm not trying to.
Don't put your hands on me, because them people who had to come around here. You know what I mean?
And you feel like they talking to themselves because you don't hear the other person.
Yeah. You know what else, man? In terms of the simple shit, like keeping it on a lighter note, though, man. Life, man, when we laugh, when we talk about it, man, life funny, man. Let the shit be funny. Sometimes just let it be funny, man.
Because also, like we talked about off air or whatever.
Yeah.
Nothing is better than a natural vibe.
Exactly.
That's positive.
Yeah.
You have to be a vibe. So
Yeah.
people, stop waking up in the morning and say, let me see how I can mess this person's day up.
Yeah.
And say, yo, I'm just trying to have a glow all day. I'm just trying to vibe.
You know what, man? You know
what
what?
I mean?
I was thinking about it earlier, and I said to myself, you know, I made a couple little food for thoughts. One of them was about procrastination and everything like that. You know what, man? A lot of times when we have these moments when we just be laughing and I don't know, man, like you said, vibing, that make life so much simpler.
Right.
Like a lot of times, man, I think as we get older, when we realize the shit that's beyond our control, and you stop and take like me calling you Mr. Oh well.
Oh yeah.
You know, one of the things that was, in my opinion, truly beneficial to being Mr. Oh well, at least from this side, because I wasn't you,
Right.
was the fact that it was never a thing where you act like you didn't care. You just came to terms with the fact that, like, this is what it is.
Right.
It ain't complicated, because you said something earlier that couldn't have been truer.
Right.
Simple doesn't mean easy.
Right.
Just like easy doesn't mean crack. It doesn't mean that.
Guess what I tell her?
What?
I said I'm easy. Easy like Sunday morning. Yeah. Let me ask you this though.
Test him tomorrow when you get to work.
A lot of times we try to stay with a positive vibe and be vibing. I'm just, if I'm asking too much, let me know.
No, go ahead, brother.
What tends to, I don't want to use the word put you in a stressful state, but like something not for that day, but just try to put your vibe down, like really kills your vibe for a period of time. It could be for 3 days, it could be a week, a month. Do you know what those things is?
I never thought about like an extended period, but let's just say it just starts my day off wrong.
Right.
I don't know how long it may last, and it may change. Honestly, I think that in terms of what like upset, I know everybody's not a morning person.
Right.
I know everybody isn't, chipper when they first wake up in the morning. I think what throws me off sometimes is like, if all I'm trying to do, and I'm not bothering you, it may be something as simple as, good morning. And it turns around and you just not there, and you just kind of just give me your ass to kiss. Like literally, you go out of your way.
Right.
To make sure that, you intentionally try to, throw my move off or my mood off. That could be problematic to me because you go out of your way. You know what I mean? You went out of your way.
Right.
You know, I'm not somebody who stays there in most cases because of the fact that I just like Mom used to say all the time, man, I don't let people rent space in my head.
Right.
You know, and one of the greatest things that she used to say all the time that I always remember every day now, is it's simple. It's very, very simple. You teach people or you train people on how to treat you.
Right.
And to me, if you go outside of, you know, yourself to just make things horrible or make things bad, that's the only thing that could possibly put me in that position. And then I just would probably just avoid you at that point. It wouldn't even be so much that I would allow you to kind of like you said earlier, had that dominion over me like that. I would just say that that's possibly the
I realized just this week that nobody can kill my vibe but me. Mm-hmm. What I mean for myself, you know, we could cut the bullshit and then explain that a vibe ain't nothing but love.
Yeah.
So I get up in the morning every morning. I look in the mirror, you know, because you know, quite naturally, everybody looks in the mirror, you know, check you out, make sure your shit good. Like, what's going on? You like, whoa, where this scar come from? Like anything, you know, might scratch yourself in sleep. But I tell myself, hey, man, I love you. That's what I tell myself in the morning.
Been getting your ass whooped?
I love you, right? I tell you, I love you. Hey, E, man, I love you, bro. That's what I tell you, right? So, you know, it's people out there that actually want to murder your vibe, and you sometimes it's hard to control it because of that. You get agitated, you feel unappreciated. You know what I mean? You know, it's like the 5 love languages. It's a book out called The 5 Love Languages. Everybody has something that triggers their vibe, and everybody has something that kills their vibe. You know what I mean? And usually when something kills your vibe, it's getting killed because of something you love. Whether it's yourself, your spouse, you know what I mean? Hell, your children, your car, anything. Anything.
Right.
Like, yo, you blow, because nowadays, you know, people make the statement, man, you blowing my shit. You know what I mean?
You was good.
Yeah.
That was right in the framework?
Nah.
You was cool.
No, I'm saying, I ain't saying it.
Yeah.
You know, just to be an asshole, depending what shit you talk about being blown. But, you know.
Can definitely make a difference in your day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That could really kill your vibe.
Right. It could.
Yeah.
It could.
However, where I'm going with it, people, continue to vibe. Don't let nobody steal it from you.
Yeah.
Plan your day. Plan your mind. Don't for here's the thing. Why I say just in a nutshell. You don't allow people to rent space in your head, right?
No, yeah,
Okay.
no doubt.
Well, can't nobody rent something that's not available.
Right.
So don't have it available.
Yeah, that's all. Excellent point. Nah, just continue to keep it simple. Like I said, you know what? Make sure that you put things in perspective. Remember we talked about the money that I said was undefined money and how things like undefined money can go. Like, for instance, when I was talking about the problem that most people have is not making money is the fact.
Fell on the floor. Tell me.
Yeah.
Hoodie fell on the floor.
Sorry, man. I mean, I wasn't keeping up with your wardrobe. Get with the wardrobe, people. When I was talking to you about the money thing, and I said the issue is that money that's undefined often goes misused. Right? Well, it's the same thing with your available in terms of your mood, your feelings. You know what I mean? When you leave space for a person like think about the most successful people that you know, right? You may not have a personal relationship with them, but what of them that you do know? They're all what, pretty much, most of the time? Busy. Mm-hmm. Or at least on the surface, that's what it appears to be. Well, most of those people, what they do?
Some of them be just sniffing coke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right out, you know.
Listen, man.
You know.
We just saying this.
Yeah.
Love yourself, love life, man. This is the Porch Podcast, man.
Yeah.
And we gotta get ready to wrap it up.
Yeah, but damn, I had a point before you cut me off with that blow shit, man.
I just wanted you to get upset right quick. Go ahead, give me your point.
Let me finish it up. Listen, like I was saying, make sure that when you come out and you get ready to do the things that you got to do, and you create that simple path and that simple play that you're going to deal with, don't let simple-minded shit compromise it. Don't let simple things, like a person's attitude or their inability to be able to grow and project themselves in a way that's going to be beneficial to them, jeopardize anything with you. Like I said all the time, keep it simple.
Simple.
There used to actually be an acronym for it. It was KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple, stupid. Basically, just keep it simple.
Yeah.
It's simple-ish. That's all.
And this is the Porch Podcast, and we love y'all.
Hey, man, appreciate the time.
Right.
As always, if you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Make sure that you also check it out on all the available podcast streaming sites. Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Radio Public, Spotify, Overcast, just to name a few. This guy is shut out. Just to name a few. And as always, man, share this. Because you never know, man. You never know. This could change the difference. This could be the difference between a person, complicating something and keeping it simple.
Yes, sir.
All right? And as always, man, we appreciate the time. Y'all be easy. We holla at you.
We out.
Peace.